Okay guys, so welcome back, and now we're going to look at some examples. So let's look at this first example, and we're going to see if these converge or diverge by looking at the partial sums. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is write out some partial sums. In this case we have what? S of 1 is going to equal 1/2. S of 2 is going to equal what? 1/2 plus 2/3. Okay, and then S of 3 equals 1/2 plus 2/3 plus 3/4, and then S of 4 equals 1/2 plus 2/3 plus 3/4 plus what? 4/5. Okay, and so notice something here, that each one, so you start with 1/2, and notice that you're adding for each one, each partial sum, you're adding something that's larger than 1/2, and it's getting closer to 1, right? So you're adding something that's getting closer and closer to 1. Okay? So let's compare this to something. So we know, for example, this one's going to be bigger than 1/2, right? All of these are going to be bigger than 1/2. In fact, if we compare this to, let's say, just multiplying, let's just adding 1/2, right? So we have 1/2. Here, this is going to be bigger than what? This is going to be bigger than 1/2 plus 1/2, right? So this one equals 1/2. Then this one's going to be bigger than 1/2 plus 1/2. S of 3 is going to be larger than what? 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, right? And then this one's going to be bigger than 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, right? So in other words, this is going to be equal to 1 times 1/2, and then this is going to be bigger than, well, this is going to equal what? 2 times 1/2, 3 times 1/2, 4 times 1/2. So based on this pattern, we see that S of k is going to be bigger than k times 1/2 for all positive k. For all k greater than 0. Let's say, well, let's do actually bigger than 1, right? Now, since this is true, right, since this partial sum, right, since the partial sum is greater than this for all positive k, it's obvious that the sequence of partial sums is unbounded. Right? Because as k goes to infinity, this is going to infinity. So this is also going to infinity. Right? That makes sense. So the sequence of partial sums is unbounded, and therefore the series, the infinite series for n equals 1 to infinity of n over n plus 1 diverges. So the sequence is unbounded, hence diverges, and then therefore this infinite sequence also diverges. Okay, that's it. We'll come back and do another one.